Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I'm about to go to bed, and I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting on the fact that in a couple of days I will be running my first marathon, and I'm mortified about it. I'm literally just sitting here, just wondering what I got myself into. It's going to be on Sunday. We're running the Chicago Marathon, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know if any of you have ever run a marathon before, but if you have, say something in the chat. Let me know if you've ever done it before. Let me know what I should look forward to. What's going on, Suzanne and Vic and Darius? And let's see, she ran herself fit. Hey sis, how you doing? Good to see you. I know she's running the Chicago Marathon. This sister, she went on a major weight loss journey, and I really have a lot of respect for her story. Her name is Felicia with an SH, and I remember her name also because her name is the same as my grandmother's. You guys know my grandmother Felicia, who died in 2013, and actually our Black Panther, the panther that represents the Black Business School logo, or not logo, but our I guess you say our logo. Or our mascot is a panther. It's Felicia the panther. So I want to say hello to Silverstream and Harvey and Q Anderson, and she ran herself fit. This is her 7th marathon, and so I think the story is really inspirational because she, I mean, she was where a lot of us were, like over, a lot of us get overweight. I think as Black people, we just have these terrible eating habits that get passed down to us, and I just decided to make an adjustment, and I was so happy I did it. And now I'm about to run my first marathon, and I am just I feel like I'm about to go into surgery, man. I've never run more than 17 miles in my life, and so 26 is going to be a. Do me a favor, if you could hit the thumbs up button and hit the notification bell. Also, shout out your city. Shout out your city that you're from. I like to see what city you guys are coming from. Let's see. When I was in the Army, I did 19 miles. Damn near killed me. I do 1 to 2 miles that is hard, or do 2 miles that is hard. But that's better than a lot of people. If you're just moving and doing something, even if you're running slow, and even if you're not running hardly at all, like doing a walk run, like that makes a huge difference for you. So just start off with baby steps, just baby steps. San Jose, the Cad Daddy, good to see you. Iceman, thank you for the encouragement, man. I appreciate it. Peace and ammo from Springfield, Illinois. I see LA, Houston, Gardenville, New York. Okay, what other cities? I see St. Louis, Coffeyville, Kansas. LA is dealing with air quality. This fire stuff is crazy. Oh God, y'all still got fires out there? Damn. Sacktown. Okay, I see Tim Pittman. Springfield. Let's see. Charlotte, North Carolina. Cincinnati is a city where you pass by. Yeah, I pass by Cincinnati. I do not stop because y'all corrupt as hell up in that damn city, locking Black judges up and stuff. Man, what's wrong with y'all? That crazy ass city. Not you, but just Cincinnati itself. It's just racist and crazy and corrupt as hell. Mississippi, Philadelphia, Gainesville, Statesboro, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Winston-Salem. Okay, so if you guys have a question for me, feel free to ask the question, and I will answer any question that you have. Any question. Okay, Switzerland, nice. See the Jays in Switzerland, very cool. Detroit East Side, I see that. Should Black people sit out this election? I'm sitting out. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do because that's my policy. I don't tell you what to do. I just try to encourage you to think and do what's best for you. I think Black people should just be selfish for a little bit. I think that we should just think about ourselves, put ourselves first. We've been putting everybody else first for I don't know how long. And how's that working out? Is that working out for you, Black people? does it work for us to put everybody else first? Give me a yes or no. Has that worked out for us? Has that strategy helped us get to where we want to get to? Are we doing better because we put everybody else in front of us? I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Yes or no? Is that really working out? Are we seeing progress? I don't know. Suzanne says no. What's the best way to start investing in the UK? Well, I would the hard part about UK investing versus US is that you guys use different platforms. The apps like Robinhood, Stash, and Acorns, from what I understand, are not available in the UK. So, but there are trading platforms that trade in the UK. So I would look for one of the most popular trading platforms there. I can't remember the name of the one that I saw because I have students in the UK that I speak with about investing. But find a platform and find something that's simple, and don't be afraid to invest. You should be afraid of not investing. That's what you should fear, because when you don't fear or when you don't invest, that's when you lose. Even though you're pro-black, do you do a lot of business partnerships with other races? No. No disrespect to anybody else, but I think racism is so difficult that I scare white people. You know, just by black pride, black love scares white people. It scares a lot of people. And so, you know, I just personally like working with my own people. I like black people. I mean, not to say I don't work with others, like I can't work with others. I mean, of course, at some level, at some point you interact, but I really do keep to myself. I keep to my community because that's where I feel comfortable. Boyce, do you believe the conservative and black nationalists are purposely being shut out of the national black discussions? Yes, they are. There's a myth that says black people all have to be liberal, and that's about the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Fuck the Democratic Party. I mean, I don't hate them, but seriously, a lot of their ideas are stupid. They don't make sense. Black people don't agree with them, and they make you feel like you have no choice. And so I'm gonna have to some extent, say that even though Kanye West is pissing people off by doing his whole Trump thing, he's making a good point to say, like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do, and I respect that. I respect anybody who's brave enough to march to the beat of their own drummer. So, you know, it is what it is. The world will not be able to stop God's plan. No. How do you feel about the USA and China trade deal? Is it good for foreign currency investors? Yeah, probably. I don't know much about the details of the trade deal. I know that they're going to war over this stuff with the NBA, and all these big companies are caught in the crossfire of what's going on between the two governments. I know the stock market shot up like a rocket because Trump claims that they made a lot of progress on their trade deal. But then again, the problem is, like, can you really believe Trump? I mean, does Trump really have a lot of credibility? No, he doesn't. So, but the market moved. So if you own stock, you probably made a lot of money today. You know, you love Obama. I do love him. I just don't. I just thought his presidency wasn't very effective for black people. The political parties are not made for us. No, they were not. That is absolutely true. You're made to be a pawn. You are a tool for their power. That's what you are. You are a tool until you learn not to be a tool. You know, that's it. You're being invited over. You're like the KFC chicken who gets invited over for dinner, and you really think that you're there to eat. You're not there to eat. They're there to carve you up and eat you. That's why they have you at dinner, because, you know, so black people are used to get power for other people. Then your empowerment is going to have to come through you thinking about yourself and putting yourself first. You can't serve your master and serve yourself at the same time. You can't do that. It's hard to do. Doc, are you into science? Are you cool with Neil deGrasse Tyson? I've never met Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I think he's cool. And I am into science to some extent. I'm not a deep scientist, but I do have a master's degree in mathematics, which means I interact with a lot of scientists. I have an appreciation for what they do. I'm a little bit of a space geek. I'm very intrigued by just how big the universe is. It's insane how big it is. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So Neil deGrasse Tyson's cool with me because he's very smart and he does very good work. And he also got caught up in the Me Too thing. Pretty much Me Too has, you know, the whole agenda of Me Too is like, we're going to find any powerful man and accuse him of being horny. Like basically, we caught you having sex. Oh, you know, so now that means that you're probably a rapist because you have sex. So I think it's kind of it's really, I think, driven by a very anti-man, kind of man-hating kind of agenda, where it's like anytime you're a man and you're powerful and you sleep with someone, like, think about it. For example, if you're a powerful man and you run and you're the boss, and then women are going to be attracted to you because women are attracted to powerful men. So if a woman hits on you and you sleep with her, then they're going to vilify you, but they won't vilify the woman for hitting on you. So my thought is, well, if you're going to vilify the man for accepting the offer, then why wouldn't you vilify the person who made the original offer in the first place? And so basically, a lot of the Me Too stuff is stupid. Neil deGrasse Tyson worked through it, and I'm very happy for him because it was stupid. You know, people coming out of the woodwork with shit from 30 years ago where there's no proof. That is about the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely ridiculous. The importance of credit for a better life, as Cedric. It's very well. Credit helps. I mean, I had years with bad credit, and that was fine. I even when I get credit. I could show you in my desk credit card offers I get every day. Every day, when they find out you got a little money and that your credit score is good, like, they're always trying to get you to borrow money, and I don't really care. I don't really want to borrow their money, you know. So just because you have credit doesn't mean you're necessarily in a better position. Sometimes when I had bad credit, actually, it was great because I didn't have to worry about a lot of debt. When a lot of my friends were piling the debt on, I wasn't piling the debt on. So when the market crashed and all this, financial stuff went straight to shit. Like I had a friend that at that time, I remember it was about when my credit was really bad, was like around 06, 07, something like that, around the crash. And I had a friend at that time who also had a PhD in finance, who literally had like bought 3 or 4 houses and leveraged the shit out of these houses, And so when the economy crashed, his whole financial situation went to hell. I wasn't in that situation. I didn't have all that leverage. So leverage is a double-edged sword. Debt is leverage. It means, yeah, you can make a lot more money, but you can also lose a lot of money. So I was actually kind of happy that it kept me disciplined. Now, obviously, I didn't want to have a bad credit score forever. So when I finally got around to actually wanting to work on it, I went ahead and I made negotiations with the debt collectors or whatever and paid stuff off and got the score up. But even then, I just didn't. I mean, a lot of times the only time they really want to loan you a lot of money is when you don't really need it. I don't really need to borrow money, but that's when everybody wants to loan it to me. So it kind of is what it is. I mean, don't feel bad if you got a bad credit score. Fix it, work on it. I think it's fine. I think that's good, but don't feel like it's the end of the world if you have bad credit. People make it like that's the only thing. Most important thing to me is to know how to make money. I think that's better than credit. Do you think that asking for land grants will be a more feasible solution to the topic of reparations? Sure. Yeah, land grants. I think them deliberately, specifically putting money into projects that affect urban communities, I think would be beneficial. Things like that. Hey Doc, what are some good books on manhood that you recommend? Gosh. Let me see. Go to blackmenunited.net, blackmenunited.net. We have an organization for black men where we give tips on what it means to be a black man, how to be a successful black man. So go to blackmenunited.net. It's free of charge. You can join it. Me and Andre C. Hatchett put that together for young men that want to know how to be men. I can think of books that I'm just like head over heels for. Maybe books like the autobiography of Malcolm X and stuff like that. But the reality is there aren't that many great examples of like what I consider to be manhood out there. Like I think manhood is kind of basic stuff. Like like I tell my son, he's my adopted son, but he's my son. I say things to him like, being a man means keeping your word. Like if you say you're going to do something, you have to follow through. You got a lot of guys out here that just talk a lot of shit, don't follow through, bitchy, whiny, lying, making stuff up. I'm not a fan of that. I believe if you say something that you're going to do, you should do it. Like that's important. You have to be somebody people can depend on. That sometimes means like your own discomfort can't be the top priority. Like you can't run around here whining and crying about how hard things are. That just is terrible. Like that's like really, you're emasculating yourself when you do that. And so, and that's in contradiction to a liberal ideology. Liberal ideology is that whenever your toe hurts, you're supposed to whine and cry about it. And, you're supposed to think of yourself the same as a woman and all that. And I would never think of myself the same as a woman. I would never see myself as equivalent to a female, not better than a woman. I'm not better, but I'm not a woman. I'm a man. And there's certain things about being a man that's important, to remember. Will I ever have Farrakhan on my podcast? I'm going to have Nuri Muhammad on Monday. Nuri Muhammad is a very high-ranking, very important member of the Nation of Islam. I should reach out and get the minister. I just haven't done that just out of respect for his time, but I probably should, and you're absolutely correct. So I definitely will. Thank you, Darnell, for your donation, by the way. I love your show. I'm a PO, sending a lot of brothers your way. Your videos actually saved one of my young clients' marriage. Oh, wow. I don't know. Whatever did I say to do that? Whatever it was, I'm glad I said it. All right, we'll give him my best. Let's see. Thank you, Slick Whips 11, for your donation. I appreciate that very much. Can I start a business on SSDI? Start a business. Okay. I need more income. Well, you will probably have to find a business that doesn't require a lot of cash, but just because you don't have cash doesn't mean you don't have wealth. It doesn't mean you don't have capital. Capital is not always cash. So just keep that in mind. Capital can be labor. Capital can be your network. There's a lot of ways to add capital to a business without it being money. Maybe somebody else can put in the money and you can do the work. So there are ways to do it. So you may want to join a group for entrepreneurs or a class for entrepreneurs or be in a space where entrepreneurial fertility is kind of happening. So for example, with our event in New York City that's coming up, you can go to drboycenewyork.com if you'd like to come out. In that event, October 27th, the goal is to bring together like-minded wealth builders to create fertility in the room, to bring together ideas, to talk about, to raise capital, to get people connected, because out of that, businesses will emerge. I've seen it 1,000 times. When you get people together, amazing things happen. So that's the number one goal that we actually have in the Black Business School, is like, okay, how can we help bring people together? How do we facilitate things? So one of the things we're going to actually do in the Joliet, Illinois area is I told my event planner, I went to go pick our venue for the wedding, July 11th. Alicia and I are getting married in Chicago, and all of you are invited, by the way. Every single one of you, anybody watching the video is invited. The church is big enough to hold all of y'all. So everybody is welcome, and we'll probably try to set up a live stream if possible. But anyway, and it's free of charge. So no, I won't charge you money to come to our wedding. And basically, I was telling her, I said, let's do another event in early November. And I said, I want to do a spades tournament. And she was like, a spades tournament? Don't you want to do a business seminar? I said, nah, let's just bring people together, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll talk business afterward. But for now, let's have some fun. So bringing people together is really better than business school. That's what I've concluded over time. Let me, hold on, let me straighten this out. What do you think about the new Tyler Perry Studios? Is it a plus for Black people, or Hollywood in disguise trolling for that black dollar? A little bit of both. I think with the Tyler Perry studio, it's a matter of deciding if you believe that the good outweighs the bad. The good is that you got this studio that appears to be controlled by a Black man, who can hire Black people. Great. The bad side of it, the downside, is that that's the studio Madea built. Madea built that fucking studio. Let's be clear. If you go down and you look at all of Tyler Perry's films, out of like 20 films, Medea's in like 15 of them or something crazy like that, right? So Madea built that studio. So it's almost like it's almost like a mother sending her children to private school, but saying like, I sold drugs and I was a hooker in order to get this money for my kids. So some people will say, well, that's just ratchet. That's selfish that you sold drugs and you were hoeing for money. But some people will say that was a great sacrifice you made to get that money for your kids. But then other people might say, yeah, but look at what you did to your children, and you shamed your family by behaving in this way. Now you got drug addicts in your community. You got drug addicts in your family. You got people in your family that are negatively affected by the fact that you were a dope dealer. The feds are watching them, when they go to private school. So Madea did not have a good effect on the image of the Black man or the Black woman in America. Madea, you ain't winning when the whole world sees you as Mr. Brown or Madea or any of these other characters that are out there, right? The Black man in a dress is an emasculated image that is stereotypical for Hollywood. It's an easy way to make money. If I put on a dress and went to LA, I'd be rich in a week. And I'd probably have a couple boyfriends to go with it, right? So I think that it's a matter of deciding, do you feel that the good outweighs the bad? And I'm not one to tell you what your answer should be. It's really a personal decision. So in fact, I'd be curious, yes or no, yes or no. Do you feel with Tyler Perry Studios that the good outweighs the bad? Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you feel that with Tyler Perry, the good outweighs the bad? Okay, Travis says yes. Jocelyn, yes. Okay, Mac, Pam. Okay, Anthony Smith, 1,000%. Strawberry Quick says no. Is that Juju? Says no. Paul, yes. Christopher, yes. Jason, yes. Reginald, no. Bobby, yes. Michael says no. Okay. Kush says no. Success Inevitable says no. Kalala says yes. Is that Hockey Bagman? What are these Instagram names? My Instagram is the Real Boyce Watkins, by the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram. Okay, so it's a mixed bag. I mean, that's what it is, right? So at the end of the day, it's going to be controversial, and I mean, I wouldn't do it. You could tell me I was going to be a billionaire if I did 9 movies wearing a dress, and I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. But then again, maybe does that make me an honorable man, or does that make me a selfish man? Right? I don't know. You know, if Tyler Perry puts on the dress, is he doing it because that's what he really wants to do and he's being himself? And should he be applauded for that? Or should he be criticized for the fact that his actions are affecting other people? I don't know. You know, that's a tough one. Some cases are more white and black. I don't think Tyler Perry cases is white and black. I think it's a mixed bag. Daryl, I am not going to read your comment, but I think it's funny. How many gallons of water do I drink a day? I don't know. I usually drink about, let's see, no, it says serving size is 8 fluid ounces. Oh, so it says 7 servings per container. So I guess this is 56 ounces. So I just will drink one of these all day. I'll try to stay hydrated. It is for the greater good of the black community, says Reginald. Okay. All right. Zionism. I'm not really going to talk about Jewish stuff now because y'all know Jewish people own every damn thing and they be thinking you're anti-Semitic because you brought it up. Go read How the Jews Invented Hollywood. That's the book I have my students read. Is Lizzo good for black women? Oh, God, no. That Lizzo is this big fat lady who sings for white women and she wears thongs, which will make you want to vomit, you know, and she just basically, I guess her goal is to make people feel good about being loud, obnoxious, and obese and disrespectful and rude. And she's just not, you know, she's a walking stereotype and is making a damn fool of herself. She's like the fat Tiffany Haddish. That's kind of what she is. That's kind of what Lizzo is. She comes off like the fat Tiffany Haddish, and white women love it. You know, they love the big black woman. You know, like Monique. Remember when Monique came on to the channel? Monique came here, and Monique said, "I said, so why does the world love Oprah?" She said, "Because she's a fat black woman." You know, they've loved the fat black mammy since slavery. Like that's what Lizzo is. Except Lizzo's like a mammy hoe. Like so, they really like that. So you're a Jezebel and a mammy all wrapped up into one. And you know, and it's like you feeling good as hell. She's shaking her fat ass and sit up there, you know, like shaking her diabetes in front of everybody. You know, like it's just really like I watched it and I was like, wow, okay, all right. No disrespect to anybody that's overweight. A lot of black people are overweight. That's not a big thing. I mean, it happens a lot. It's not a problem in the sense that like it doesn't make you worse than anybody else. What it does though is you know, we don't want to get to the point where we're acting like that's cool to be obese. It's not cool. When I was obese, I mean, I didn't want you to make me feel bad about who I was, but I don't want you to encourage me to be obese. Like I had a woman that encouraged me to do better. She loved me when I was fat. She did. She really did. But she was like, Boyce, you're going to die if you do not improve your health. You know, when I took that test to get the life insurance and they were like, your blood pressure is so high, we will not insure you. She was like, you need to make a choice, you know, and she encouraged me to do better without ridiculing me. So I think that that's good. We should probably do that with each other, encourage each other to do it. So I'm not a fan of people that run around telling women or men that you are perfect just the way you are. And anybody who asks you to do better is, you know, is they just hating on you and this, that, and the other. No, sometimes you're not okay the way you are. Sometimes you need to be pushed to improve. You know, I'm not a fan of that. You know, it's kind of dumb to me. Hey, what's going on, Brandon? Good to see you, man. This is so true about Lizzo. I still don't get why she's such a phenom, says Ruth, because white people like her. When white people like sassy black women, like they like that. They don't like classy black women. They like sassy black women. That's why Tiffany Haddish will win awards over Angela Bassett. They're like, oh, Angela's too classy. She's not acting black. But Tiffany, now that's a black woman. Hi. Oh, raggy. Anyway. Dr. Boykins. Why people call me Dr. Boykins, Darren? My name is not Dr. Boykins. What is my name, Darren? It's not Dr. Boykins. Anyway, Dr. Boykins, have you ever spoke on Agenda 21 and the... No, I have no idea what Agenda 21 is. Sorry, bro. I wish I could help you out, man. Let's see here. No disrespect. I just don't know what it is. Let's see. How will QE4 hurt us? You talking about quantitative easing, meaning increasing the money supply to stimulate the economy. Well, when they do quantitative easing, when they stimulate the economy, it gets the economy going. But what you're doing is you're reducing the value of the currency. You're making money cheaper. So that's kind of a tough thing to maintain. And what it does is it can blow your economy up, but it can easily pop, and you can have what is called a market correction, where suddenly things that appeared to have value really didn't have any value because it was basically what is called a bubble. So that's ultimately when they stimulate the economy. So think of it like like if I'm tired and I give myself some cocaine to like perk up, right? I'm going to be really perky for a while, but then I'm going to crash extra hard because cocaine is not something that's healthy for me in the long term. So that's the quick answer for quantitative easing. Okay, Sat Chat said I call you Uncle Phil. Well, fuck you too. I'm kidding. It sounds like you said it in a loving way, so I'm not gonna get mad at you. What do you think about blockchain technology or decentralized application of smart contracts? I think it's wonderful. I think blockchain is here to stay forever. Absolutely. Juju says Dr. Boyce fine as a Rolls Royce. Great choice. You talking about me? Are you flirting with me? I hope that you're a woman. If you're a man, don't flirt with me. If you're a man, I don't flirt with men. And I'm not flirting with women, not for real, because I love my woman. She's fine as hell. What's the best way? Thank you, David, by the way, for your donation. I appreciate you very much. What is the best way to improve poor credit over 40 years old? Well, your credit score is driven mainly by paying your bills on time. And then I think the number two factor is like the amount of debt you have, like your debt ratio, like debt to total debt capacity or something like that, like debt utilization ratio. I think it's like how much debt you can actually have versus how much you actually do have. And then there's a few other things obviously that matter. I would go and read the Fair Credit Reporting Act, where you can actually basically what it basically says is that if you challenge anything on your credit report, they have a certain amount of time that the company has to get back to you. And if they don't get back to you within that amount of time, then they have to remove it from your report. So that's something I've seen people do to get some stuff wiped off, just challenge it. Just like, I don't remember this debt. I don't believe this, I owe this money. Y'all need to, and write to the credit reporting agency, but look it up, go read the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And then based on that, send a letter to the credit bureaus and challenge the debts that you think should not be on your credit report. How do I get more subscribers than PewDiePie? I have no idea. He has Nuki Fluke. He has so many subscribers. I have no idea how he does that, but it is what it is. Brandon, Boyce, get blacks to pay themselves 10% of their gross and hold on to it. Oh, you mean like saving? Yeah, I think you should tithe to yourself. Fuck the pastor. Tithe to him if you have any money left over. Give him the extra money. Don't give him your main money. Love your pastor. Pastors are fine with me, but just don't give him your main money. Give him your extra money. Will you be going to see the movie Harriet? Probably. It depends on what I hear, what the reviews are, what other black people say, and who made it. And it seems like a decent movie. The previews were really good. Let's see. Luxurious Lady says, good evening, Dr. Boyce. I've been watching you, and I would like to know, why do you get upset when some folks don't act accordingly in the chat room during your discussions? Act accordingly. I don't really get upset. I don't get upset. You know what my line is, really? I don't have a problem when somebody disagrees with me. I think what I don't have time for is when people want to get personal and really say like really nasty things that don't even, like, you can challenge my ideas, but don't come and like attack in a personal kind of way. If you do that, like if you say something like, like my fiance is light skinned, like if you say, you're marrying a white woman or something, like, I don't have time for that shit. I'm not even gonna be mad at you. I'm just not gonna, you're just not welcome here anymore. I'm sure there's other places you can go with that ignorant shit. I don't really have a lot of patience for like ignorance that has nothing to do with the issue. Like if you want to challenge me on something, that's fine. Say I disagree with you. That's great. You're supposed to disagree with me on something. You can't. If we talk about 1,000 issues, you can't. There's no way you can agree with me on everything, right? That's fine. But I think that when people are just disrespectful and just bringing up dumb shit, or maybe if they're bringing up somebody like when you have a big name on the online or whatever it is, like you're going to have people that build their name by criticizing and attacking you, right? So if you're bringing this person into the chat, you know, and you're like repping for that person, I'm not even really mad at you. It's just more like I don't want that energy in my space, in my mind, because that distracts me. I don't want to be distracted. I'm here to serve the people who believe in what we're doing. And if I am talking to you about some petty situation with some other person and doing that extensively, then I'm taking away from the quality of the conversation and interaction I can have with the people who can appreciate my point of view, right? So that's what it is. But I told you I'm not fighting with no black people in 2019. How's your twin daughter? She's doing very well. She's still my twin, and she's still beautiful, and I love her. The main character was liking posts that disrespect foundational blacks. Okay, I don't know what that's about. What's her hair company? It's Black Bossy Hair. That's the name of her brand. That's the name of her company. Let's see here. The CAD guy, how can we support black banks when there are none in the area? That's true. And a lot of black banks aren't really black banks. That's the one thing that people don't talk much about. There are a lot of black banks that are, you know, pretty white. Let's just say that. I agree. Let's see. The closest black-owned bank is in Los Angeles. Do you recommend banks like One United? I have not heard bad things about One United. So the best thought I could share with you is that I would get an account with them. I wouldn't have any issues with that. I haven't gotten one yet, but I should. In fact, I think I will, because they seem to be, you know, supporting black events and really promoting themselves in the black space. So I have a lot of respect for that. So I don't have any issue with them. You're a night owl, says Travis. Yeah, I kind of am. I just kind of, whenever I'm up, I just like to talk sometimes. Let's see here. I was curious about Experian Boost credit repair, says Jasmine. If it doesn't cost too much, I would look into it because it's Experian, so they probably understand, you know, the credit process pretty well. Just don't go pay them a bunch of money, but if it's like less than $100, I would definitely try it. Do you know anything about the boule, says Macro? I've heard of it. Like, I guess it's like bougie black people who work for white people. Like, you know, like I've heard Roland Martin being accused of being in the boule and stuff like that. Do I believe that exists? In a way, even if it doesn't formally exist, it does exist, at least informally. There are black people who are Negro Whispers, you know, who take pride in their connections with white America and with the white power structure. And basically they're compensated or they're given preference by the white power structure because they can become Negro managers, not black leaders, but Negro managers. Like, they can influence and manage the masses of black people and get them to all, you know, vote for a certain candidate or go buy a certain product, you know, things like that. There are many, many fortunes made by black people who can corral up black people and mobilize them to be a force to be used by white people who seek power, you know. So, for example, you have like publications like The Root or BET that are owned by white people, but they, you know, position themselves as black-owned businesses, which they're not. Or Popeye's Chicken, you know, they have the black lady who they put on the commercial, and they pretended like she was the CEO because they know black people aren't going to really research to find out who the real CEO is and find out it's a Canadian white guy. So Negro managers, or in the Democratic Party, like the Democratic Party can't move forward without Negro managers. So last I heard, what's his name? Elizabeth Warren just got that guy from Florida, you know what I'm talking about, the candidate from Florida that did a really good job in the election. He's now on her team doing something, right? And I'm sure whatever he's doing, it relates to getting black people to come out and vote for Elizabeth Warren. And I don't necessarily knock him. I don't have any issue with Gilliam. That's his name. I don't have a big issue with him. I haven't seen him say anything that really just bit my butt, and you know what I mean, like nothing I've seen him say that just made me like, oh man, this is crazy. But I'm not interested in that because that's just not the lane I want to be in. You know, like, I'm not really a person that sees much value in us corralling up Negroes so we can go serve the interests of some white person. I'm a person that's more into saying that I'm kind of not really feeling that we benefit that much from these partnerships, so-called partnerships with white America. We don't now, if the partnerships were really good, like if we were really getting like the lion's share of the benefit, then that would make sense. But we don't get the lion's share of the benefit. We get the crumbs, right? And so given that we get the crumbs, if you're in a business deal, where you're getting the crumbs and the other person's getting the lion's share, then the next logical move is to go into business for yourself, right? So you may have something that's smaller and less impactful, but it's all yours, you know? So, I would say that, for example, I look at Colin Kaepernick, and I feel so sorry for poor Colin Kaepernick, because makes you look kind of weak, because you're just sitting there and you're this great quarterback. You got all this talent. You're training 5 days a week, busting your ass, praying to white Jesus and black Jesus and baby Jesus, that the NFL is going to call you. You're hoping that somebody from the NFL is going to pick up the phone and call you and give you that golden opportunity. Well, who the fuck died and made the NFL Jesus? Like, who made them the gods of your life? Like, who made them the captains of your destiny, the captains of your soul? Like really, like, the NFL is a league, and it's not the only league. That's not the only place you can play football, and you can start a league. Like, why do we think white people are so damn magical? Why are we so committed to being white supremacists? Like, why do we really believe that there's so many things they can do easily that we can never do in a billion years? You got black millionaires walking around, billionaires now. You got black billionaires out here that, are like, well, we can't start anything on our own. We got to wait for the NFL. Who said that? Like, the white people who started the NFL had like a few $100s in their pocket. Like, they didn't have 1/1000th of the wealth that even Jay-Z has by himself. Colin Kaepernick made $40 million before he left the NFL. I don't know if y'all know that or not. Like, I think somebody said, what is your plan? Well, I have a lot of plans. Am I starting a professional sports league? No, I got other things I'm trying to build. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, but I know this, if I was in Cap's shoes and I wanted to play football, I would be finding a way to play football. Wouldn't no white man decide if I get to play football ever again. Just like I'm a professor. He's a football player. I am a PhD, right? Ain't no white man never going to decide that I'm going to get to teach or not teach. That's not going to be decided by him. That's why I created the Black Business School. I got together with other smart black people, realizing that we have trillions of dollars in human capital in our community, brilliant lawyers, doctors, professors who are smarter than the white folks that we might have went to school with. And I said, let's start a school on our own. So we got people like attorney Nicole Compton, Julian Gordon, who went to Stanford. We've got PhDs like Dr. Claude Anderson and other brilliant, Dr. George C. Frazier. Michael Roberts is a billionaire. All these people have come through the Black Business School, and we're doing what we do. We're doing what we do well, and we're not waiting for anybody's permission. So I think I think generally speaking, we have to kind of understand, like, life is short. You get one chance at this thing, and you don't want to spend your life waiting around for somebody. Kanye West did not get to become a famous rapper by waiting for Dame Dash and Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Dame Dash shelved Kanye West. They were like, oh, wait your turn, Kanye. Kanye's like, when am I going to get to rap? Wait your turn, Kanye. When am I going to get to rap? Wait your turn, Kanye. Next thing you know, Kanye went and said, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go shoot a video through the wire. And I just got in a car crash. So I wrote the song. I'm going to rap the song. I'm going to go shoot the video. And I'm having my release party next week. And y'all invited. So instead of waiting for you to let me through your door, I'm going to build a door and then decide if I'm going to let you through the door. And Damon Dash actually said after that, he said when he saw this happening, he said, whoa, I didn't want to be left out. Like, I felt like I had to be there because all this was happening on my watch, and that's the deal. Like, you got to move. You got to be ready to, if the world ain't moving fast enough for you, you got to go ahead and move. And then guess what? You're going to find people following right behind you. As soon as you start becoming successful, they're going to want to be a part of what you got going on. I've seen it happen a million times. Stop being scared. That's the point. Spit and Fire, I have a channel, some stuff I don't agree with you on, like R. Kelly, but the video you dropped yesterday in the car was on point, to the point I had to tell my subscribers, now yours. Well, thank you, Spit and Fire. I appreciate that. It's okay to not agree with me. I love you anyway. I love you. I appreciate you sharing that. Cute Ladybug, I'm trying to do that too, Dr. Boyce. Good for you. I ain't got room for lazy people. Says Mr. Make That Sense. I agree with you 100%. Lazy people will piss you off. Am I familiar with the South African Vusi Thembekwayo? He is a giant in investing in entrepreneurship. Maybe you can get him for a build. No, but I will cut and paste that name, and I will Google it because I should know that name. And thank you for sharing that information. And I do see where he is a He's a speaker, and I see a video that says the formula for successful investing. So I will be looking at that tonight. So it looks like he's accomplished a lot. Awesome. Let me see. I'm gonna follow him on Twitter right now. So give me a second. Let me see. Yeah, he's got 361,000 people to follow him on Twitter. And he's speaking. He's got like the little Tony Robbins microphone on his ear. That's nice. Thank you. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate that. Colin Kaepernick used us, says Jay Petty. Did he use us? I don't know, but I felt some kind of way when he almost kind of did this like Jesus thing where he's like, the only way you can get to the NFL is through me. I thought that was like way too much. It kind of made him look like he was thinking a little bit too much of himself. I don't agree with that. What is my position on spanking? Says Kez Willie. Okay, my position on spanking is that there are better ways to raise your child than to spank them. I think that those who are anti-spanking have a good point that maybe spanking isn't the only solution. Now, I grew up on spanking. I got my ass whooped many times, and I kind of feel like I deserve some of those ass whoopings. I kind of feel like, that there were some things that, that I don't know. The way the kid I was, I don't really know if I would have responded to parenting if you could not control me in some way, if you didn't have some sort of threat that would intimidate me. But at the same time, though, I think that black parenting, old school black parenting, where you just try to beat the hell out of them no matter what, is suboptimal. And I think also a lot of parents will spank their kids and not even, teach them like this is why I spanked you, or I don't want to spank you. I will spank you if I have to, but I don't want to spank you. So let me talk to you instead. Like, I think talking to the child and showing love and guidance and using other ways, like, I think that can be just as effective. Like I have kids in the house that are not my biological kids. We have a blended family, and I can't really go up in there and spank them. Their parents, their father and their mother are not big on spanking, so I cannot spank them, right? Because those are not my kids. But this is my house. So if there's a conflict, I have to talk to them in a specific way to ensure that they align with my rules. But I have to find creative ways to get that alignment. It can't be, do what I say or I'm gonna punch you out, or do what I say or I'm gonna beat your ass. And fortunately, we don't have to do that. We're able to use other means to manage their behavior, right? So I think spanking is, I don't think that spanking I think they're overly dramatic, that if you spank your child, you're traumatizing them. And also, I don't believe all that. I think that's silly. Honestly, I'm not a fan of those extremist ways of looking at things. But I do think that if you are a spanker, I would say at the very least, think of spanking as like a nuclear option. Because I can tell you the truth. Like, if I had a child, especially a son, I do think boys and girls are different too. Boys are a little bit knuckleheaded. Like, boys respond to authority in a different way. Like, a boy has to, when a boy gets to a certain age, there's a reason why 13, 14, 15-year-old boys get to a point, a lot of them, where they don't listen to their mother anymore, especially if they're alpha males, like an Antonio Brown. He got to an age where he wasn't listening to his mother, he wasn't listening to his stepfather. And some boys get to a point where they have to at least know that there's some chance that bigger, stronger man might knock the fuck out of them, like literally might knock them the fuck out if it comes to that. We're not going to do it, but just know that if you continue to down this path, we may have a confrontation and you're going to lose. So I will say that, and I have a 16-year-old boy in the house, and we've gotten very close to, some tough, stressful situations. And it's tough because as a man, there are certain boundaries that a man cannot cross with another man. And the way you communicate that, unfortunately, is you move another inch. If this goes an inch further, it's going to be a big problem for you, right? So I'm not one who thinks that if you hit a child once, or if it gets to that point, that makes you just a terrible parent. I just don't believe that. But I do think that you should try your best to avoid any sort of physical violence if you can. That's what I believe. Okay, so that's my whole theory on it. Would I want to have more kids? I think somebody said I want to have more kids. No. I do not want more kids. Thoughts on blacks from outside America downing American blacks? Yeah, there are people that do that. There are people from other countries who really look down on African Americans. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all, I mean, you see it all the time, but I don't think it's right to assume everybody from other countries thinks that way. I think that's kind of crazy. So I think anybody who thinks every black person from another country just that they're just terrible and they have no place in the debate on whether it's reparations or anything else. I ain't a fan of that. I just, that's some old Donald Trump type shit, honestly. Like if you ain't from America, then fuck you. You're an ass. We hate you. You ain't got nothing to do with us. I just think that that's very bad energy, and I don't think it's necessary. And I think we have allies all over the globe. Yes, babe. You ready for bed?
I'm going to bed.
Okay. All right.
I'm done. I'm ready for tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But I have something to ask you. Remind me this.
Okay, I'll be up in just a couple of minutes.
A couple minutes?
Yeah, like less than 8.
Okay.
I'll be up in 8.5 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Love you. All right. Rome on the song. Yes, this is live. Yes, it is live. Let's see here. Live updates. What's up with Beach? I don't know. I haven't seen her channel in a while. Strawberry Quick. D.L. Hughley tells a funny story about challenging his dad and about age 13. Yeah, that's the thing about men. Men challenge each other, and if you don't have the ability to respond in an effective way, it won't. You're gonna lose. That's why a lot of boys get to a certain age where they don't listen to their mothers anymore. Mothers can't always control teenage sons. When they're determined and they realize, wait a minute, I'm like twice as big as her, it becomes very difficult for the mother. I mean, she can get his attention. Every boy's always going to love his mother 9 times out of 10, but it's not the same as like the mother actually being able to control his actions. So you have a lot of mothers that get very frustrated because, their son will always love them, but their son goes out in the street and things happen and they tell him like, baby, you can't go out there doing that. Don't be out there in the streets doing this and doing that. And they're like, yeah, I know, mom, but I got to go. Right. And it's just like, there's points where only another man really understands what he's going through. So in some conversations, boys can only have with other men, just like there's some conversations girls can only have with other women. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. It's frustrating when your whole life, everyone is against you. Well, I'm not against you, JP Parks. So not everybody's against you. Vanessa Jones, I will knock my son out if he ever bucks up on me. Okay. Don't mess with her. You guys eating goo on the run? Yes, we are. I got some strawberry banana flavored goo. Goo is this gooey stuff that apparently gives you energy, and you eat it and then you run and it wakes your body up. D Love, have you heard about Shad Khan, the Pakistan owner of the Jaguar, started a news station for black news? Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know much about that guy, but I have heard about that. Let's see. Boyce, am I scared of Jews? Since when am I scared of Jews? No, but they do own a lot of shit. So, it is what it is. Hey, Bryant, thank you so much for the donation. Back to Kaepernick. Isn't NFL already established and knows how to market and has a built-in fan base and history? NFL's limited lifespan. Waiting too long, it's over to start your own. Is Vince McMahon crazy? No, it's never too late. I mean, did you know, I don't know if you know this. I don't know what year it was, but I think in like 1905 or something, the U.S. Patent Office shut down because they really thought that everything that could be invented had been invented. Did you know that? Like literally like over 100 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, I got to double check this, but if I'm not mistaken, the Patent Office literally shut down because they assumed everything that had been invented had been invented. And so, my point is to say, you may think that you're like coming into the game late, like, oh, well, the NFL's already established. Ain't no point in starting a new league because it ain't going to work. Yeah, well, 100 years from now, they're going to know a whole lot of shit that we don't know. They're going to look at a lot of our assumptions about the world and about life and how things work. And they're going to say, what are you talking about? You thought you were hitting the end or hitting the peak. And that was really actually just the beginning. It's like when the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit 1,000. People were like, oh my God, how the Dow can't go higher than that. Oh my God, it's so high. That's because all they were comparing it to was the past when it was 500, 600, 700. And then the Dow goes to 10,000. Oh my God, it's at 10,000. It can't go any higher. You gotta sell because it's a bubble. It's gonna bust and the world's gonna come in. Now the Dow's like 26, 27,000, right? And then when the Dow hits 40,000, 50,000, and 100,000, people are going to say the same shit, right? So, to your point, and I'm not disagreeing with you, brother. I'm just laying out a perspective on it. I think that they could start their own league. Okay, sure, the NFL does exist, but why can't you create a competitor to the NFL? If black people had vision and self-love and a drive and desire to support their own sports league, I think that thing could actually be profitable. I mean, Tyler Perry, when he started Tyler Perry Studios, there were a ton of other studios out there. A lot of studios out there already making billions of dollars. Why would he think that he can make his own? Because ain't nobody ever made a studio like Tyler Perry. His studio is the first of its kind. Like it or not, no studio like that one has ever been done. Nobody has ever made movies the way Tyler makes movies because he knows how to make movies for a fraction of the cost. That's why his stuff is profitable, right? So just because you enter into an industry that appears to be saturated, that does not mean that opportunities don't exist, right? I just don't understand why. Look, to sell a product like sports, all you need is three components. You need production, distribution, and monetization. You need to be able to produce the product that you put out to the public. You need to distribute that product to the world through marketing and television or whatever your method is. And you monetize. How do you make your money at the end, right? So if I'm Jay-Z and I'm Diddy and Colin Kaepernick and a bunch of other millionaire Negroes, and we're like, okay, let's make a sports league. We want to make a sports league. Okay. So what do we need? First we got to produce. Or do we? We're the black community, duh. Do we have any? I wonder if we have any athletes, duh. Do we have any extra basketball players or football players that want to get on the field and play? Duh. I don't know. We got to search high and low. Can anybody? Do anybody know where we might go to find a black man that wants to play football? I don't know. It's kind of hard, right? They're so rare. It's so rare to find a black man who plays sports, right? Right. So you go and you find you scoop up a bunch of guys. Now you got the best athletes in the world because black people produce. If we produce anything, we produce an oversupply of rappers and athletes, right? So you got football games. You get your field. You set up the game, set up the league, get the referees, make your rules, pick your commissioner. Boom, you're set up, right? So you got your product. Distribution. How do you distribute it? How do you make sure that these games have an audience? Well, I don't know. Let's think here. Beyonce, how many people follow you on Instagram? Oh, about 110 million. Jay, how many Instagrams you got followers you got? I got about 90 million. LeBron, how many Instagram followers you got? About 140 million. Okay, can you also get the Kardashians on the phone and Kanye and all the other millionaire Negroes? They got 30, 40, 50 million, 100 million followers and make sure every game that we play, they are going to do two things. One, market these games so that their audiences will know that it's going to happen. And then two, simulcast the games. So on everybody's Twitter feed, the games will be playing so that the public can watch these games. And we're also going to ask all of our followers to retweet these games. And so the whole world will be watching, Sunday night or Thursday night football or whatever we decide to put out there on the field. So now we've got distribution. Monetization. How do you make money off of all of this, right? How do you get your return on your investment? Well, you got hundreds of millions of viewers now. You can sell those viewers, you can get corporate sponsors. Corporations always want to be down with whatever black people got going on. So all the biggest rappers and athletes and entertainers and celebrities are all tweeting these games out or whatever and live streaming the games. You don't think corporations would want to be a part of that and get access to the black consumer base that spends $1.2 trillion a year? We get 1.3, we probably give away about 1.2 trillion. You don't think that they can't sell apparel? You don't think that they can't sell tickets to these games, right? You don't think that we can't sell that? Now, so the point of the matter is to say the reason it doesn't happen is not just due to a lack of vision, but it's also due to the fact that we're always comparing ourselves to white people. So if the NFL makes, you know, $10 billion a year and the new black sports league only makes $1 billion a year, we're going to feel like we're coming up short, like we're really not fulfilling our opportunities. We're not doing as well as we could be doing. But you got to always remember the value of ownership. Remember the fact that this is still yours, though. Like, you control this. And there are some people who value ownership to the point where I know personally, I would rather have a tiny little house that's mine than to share a mansion with a racist. Like, if a racist person has a mansion and says, I'll give you a bedroom in my mansion, I'd be like, no, I'd rather live in my own little house because at least that's mine. I got this little patch of yard, a quarter of an acre, but it's my damn yard. You come on this plot of land, I might shoot you because it's my land, my house, my yard, my shit. Right? So black people need to take pride in owning their own shit and just saying it may not be bright and shiny. It's not as developed as the NFL. It may not run as efficiently as the NFL because we're young and they're old. And we may not have as much capital as the NFL because they're paid and we're still getting there, but it's our shit. Right? So the only way, the only way you get to be the shit is if you own your own shit. If you own your shit, then you are the shit. But if they own your shit, then they're going to treat you like shit. So black people, stop bitching because they're treating you like shit and start owning shit. And then you'll get a chance to be the shit. Because I'm sorry, you can't tell me that I'm not the shit. You can't. I take so much pride in what I own that is mine. I don't care. I don't care anything about any fancy jobs I've ever had. When you own something and it's even if it's remotely profitable or it's kind of working, you have so much pride in it and you can pass it to your children. It makes you forget about every fancy job you ever had, anytime somebody gave you the corner office or whatever. Like, so I just will tell you guys, man, I mean, we got to change our mentality. If we change our mentality, we'll change the world, period. Change our mindset, we can change our reality. So anyway, that's it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified. Go set your goals, aim high, don't be scared, go hard, 100% every day, all the time, no matter what. Nothing can slow you down unless you allow it to. And just know that you are loved, you are appreciated here. Also a reminder, I want to keep reminding you guys of this, so I hope you guys will come out. I'll be in New York October 27th. So if you'd like to come to New York for our investment seminar, go to drboycenewyork.com. That's drboycenewyork.com. If you like our t-shirts, like you guys see me wear Black Business School apparel, stuff like that, feel free to go to wokeblacktees.com. That's wokeblacktees.com. Also, last but not least, if you want to check out some financial flashcards and workbooks for your children that we invented those specifically for Black children, you can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. So feel free to go check that out. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night, and thanks for hanging out. And sorry if I didn't get your question this time. I'll try to get it next time. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.